everybody had been for Halloween Horror Nights.
Fuck it up, guys. Fuck it up.
Yeah, let's go. So one of our favorite nights of Halloween Horror Nights this year was when we went with our friends, Mitchell and Jasmine, whose YouTube I will link below. We were having so much fun though, we weren't really vlogging very well. Into Altars of Horror we go.
That was absolute foreshadowing. That is a scarecrow from Scarecrow the Reaping.
I just like to scream. Turn it around, girl. Turn it around.
So then we rode Transformers together, which was a lot of fun because they hadn't ridden it yet. I don't think they'd been to...
No, they had never been to Universal Studios at that point. They'd only ever been to Islands.
Yeah.
So
that was a lot of fun because it's a really, really good ride. Then we wandered through the Purge. Oh no! No!
I feel bad.
Go, go, go!
Run! Run!
Okay, to get to Mummy, we have to go past the wood chipper.
Had fun. I did feel bad though. There's a part, I'm sure if you guys have ridden it, you know what I'm talking about, where you should hold your head back. Well, as I was about to forewarn them, the part happened. It's been a while since I've ridden it, so I felt like a complete jerk. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of screaming on that ride.
And while they rode the Mummy, I kind of just hung out in the Purge scare zone.
There goes our minister. Shortly we will have a new crop of victims. We will auction them.
I did get some really good footage, though, of the chick in the wood chipper, who is probably one of my favorite scare actors of all the nights that we went, just because she was having a good time.
Cuts from day to night because we ended up eating dinner at Monster Cafe, and this was one of our first, like, this is the second time, like, getting to hang out with Mitch and Jazz at, like, length. So we ended up just kind of chilling in there and talking for, God, like a good hour and a half, maybe?
Yeah.
It was raining off and on at that point at night, too, so it was kind of just a nice break from everything.
So this was also their first time going through Diagon Alley, which goes into that whole enjoying watching other people enjoy things for the first time.
Oh my God.
And Diagon Alley, I think, is the coolest themed area of any of the Universal parks. I think they did a lot better job with Diagon than they did with Hogsmeade because it feels more immersive to me.
It's that fake snow.
Yeah, the fake snow in Hogsmeade's terrible. But that was a lot of fun, and it was, like, raining on and off.
Well, and when we walked in there, it hit the exact right timing for the music.
Yeah.
So you have the brick noise, and then the swell of Harry Potter music. That was pretty cool.
It's cool, like, going through all the shops and stuff and looking at stuff, because I think with us going as often as we do, we kind of... I wouldn't go so far as to say we take it for granted, because I think both of us still kind of tear up sometimes when we go in there,
the
but...
thing of it is, like, only at, like, stuff like Halloween Horror Nights are you going to be able, one, to see the ground in Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
And two, to be able to freely walk through the shops without being shoulder to shoulder with people. It's very... Like, there are dead times, obviously, in the early beginning of the year and stuff when it's not Harry Potter celebration, but that stuff is kind of getting few and far between.
Yeah.
So, to be able to experience it for the first time, or just in general, because I was pretty wowed by it, of just walking around while it was drizzling rain and there's hardly anybody in there. Like, it's gorgeous.
So wait, Mitchell is a Hufflepuff and Jasmine is a Slytherin?
Yes.
That's pretty accurate. Getting Mitchell to go through the alien invasion section was so great because he's afraid of aliens, and I actually thought that that scare zone was so cute.
Very slippery.
I was almost out.
You let your guard down. It was supposed to be like the humorous scare zone section, but I don't think they'd hit their groove when we went, because we went, you know, in September.
There was still some zaniness to be had, though,
Yeah.
because of Mr. I'm gonna get you. There's this one scare actor, he just wiggles his hips back and forth.
But then we went through I'm not gonna say it was my favorite, but it was one of my favorite scare zones.
It's up there with Trick or Treat.
Oh no, these are clowns.
Oh, they're just great. Welcome to my house. Like I said.
I don't understand why they didn't just get their own zone.
They kind of did. They
should
worked
have
really well.
They worked really well with it, but they deserve to have their own official zone. The
No,
clowns this year were amazing.
I'm just saying they worked really well in the Simpsons area. Like, the aesthetic really, I think, worked for them.
Well, they had a lot of hiding places, too.
He basically went up his asshole with that chainsaw.
And then the scare actors were really picking on Mitch. And they were really picking on Jasmine, too.
Damn you!
I think it's because they're so short.
I don't know.
It was kind of nice not being the one that got picked on like the entire night, because usually it's me because I'm tall and have a mohawk, and then I look terrified the entire time, so I'm kind of easy pickings.
Like, we went and rode Men in Black, and she completely blew everybody out of the water. What was your score? Like,
It's not impressive for other people, but it was impressive for a group, and I'll take that.
yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that was fun though. It sucked though because there wasn't anybody on the other track, so when it was time to like shoot each other to make it spin, we didn't get any spins.
And then we went back through the clowns.
Yeah, we were going to see Academy of Villains.
Oh man.
Intimidating chainsaw sound. Sounds of an intimidating chainsaw that makes you really scary and you're spooked.
That was beautiful.
If guys like him make the
Make
song.
your day. There's someone coming to town. I tried to tell you. Like, someone's coming.
That is the first time I've been gotten like that, other than in the house.
Is your heart okay?
Oh yeah.
Back to back.
So then we went through Trick or Treat, which was really funny because everything seemed to be targeting Jasmine.
That's not okay. Scared the entire soul out of me.
They've never seen the movie, so they had no context for it either.
Yeah, so we're all excited about Sam, and she got scared by him, which was so funny. Jasmine's making friends.
The werewolf chicks were just eyeballing her, and then the one followed us for a little while. Like, I don't know why. Trick or Treat was just ready to get them.
So then we went to go watch Academy of Villains, which was exciting, even though they had to do kind of like a substitute show this year. Their original show that they were going to do, this stage got damaged during Hurricane Irma.
Well, this was our first time getting to see what they had on the new stage, because the last couple times that we'd gone, they were out in front of the horror movie makeup show area, and now they were they actually had a stage set up. It still wasn't, you know, their actual stage that they had wanted to use, but...
And they had this, it was so cute. They had this little kid who had come dressed up as an Academy of Villains dancer.
Yeah.
And they got him up on stage. So that was so great.
The butterfly, that's all. Let me see the tips around.
We all kind of felt really bad for the adult lady who got brought up on stage because, you know, you can't win. You can't win against a little kid that's like dressed up as one of the dancers. So, but she did good.
Yeah.
We went back and forth through the clown like unofficial scare zone a lot that night.
'Cause we rode Simpsons twice.
Oh Lord, Max. Max, what are we doing?
Well, that's safe.
Did we?
Yeah, we rode it once. Remember, it was like calibrated perfectly, like it was amazing. And then the second time we rode it, it was like the screen was slightly off.
Oh, that's
It was
right.
so weird. You couldn't see everything on the screen.
And I'm pretty sure we went back through a couple of the zones on our way to go do Hive. So we went to go do
The Hive.
Hive. I picked it because it wasn't getting very good, like, scare reviews. Like, people were saying the set was really cool, but the reviews weren't really great in terms of scares. And it was scary. Like, there were several points where I was scared. I think that the house wasn't that great, not because of the actors, but because of, I don't want to say budget cuts, but like some of the mask stuff that some of them were wearing was kind of...
The strobe lights didn't help.
Yeah.
It made some of the scares kind of obvious, which was weird because usually it's supposed to disorient you, but for
Yeah.
whatever reason it showed them up and the boo holes, so you kind of knew what to expect as you were going through. The contact lenses that they had were really cool.
Yes.
And the music at the beginning, I want to know what that track is because it was perfect 80s horror, like Stranger Things theme song sounding. It was awesome. Like, that house wasn't my favorite. I could not get over the smell. That house was so creepy. It had that rats have been shooting. And I know that it was, like, the Halloween Horror Nights is known for that, but, like, it skeeved me so bad. I'm like, this is so gross. Can we please get out of here? And it took a long time to get out of there.
It was supposed to be gross. Like, there were a couple of points. I remember thinking the baby didn't look all that great, but there were a couple of, like, set pieces that were really gross.
I liked the giant mound of people's stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool.
That was eerie. Like, that set, that whole house felt like a horror movie. And I read a rumor somewhere that Hive was a replacement for an IP that, like, pulled out kind of late in the game or something like that. So,
I don't know what it was for.
So, you know, if they were working on limited time, they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, no, like, it was a decent run that we had.
And it was so great, too, because, you know, it was Jas and Mitchell's first house, too, so...
Well, for Halloween Horror Nights.
For Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, they've done Hallow Scream before.
Yeah. And so we were, like, all holding hands and screaming, and it was so great.
Hurry! They're gonna get you!
To, like, end the night, we decided we were gonna do... I had been talking all night about...
Cornboys,
which is what I've been calling this scarecrow, the reaping. I really was intending to go in the house.
She's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. It was a 15-minute wait, right? Right before she walks out of the bathroom, it drops down to 5 because it's like the last 15 minutes of the night. I remember looking at Mitchell and Jasmine and we were all just like, oh, she's not gonna like that. She's not gonna like that at all.
Yeah, because you want to kind of wait for a few minutes because you want, like, the breathing time in between being in a scare zone and, like, getting into a house. Especially if you're me and you get, like, scared of everything.
She comes back out, looks at it, just like, oh no. We walk down through the queue, and the facade, even though some of the corn had gotten destroyed because of the hurricane with Irma and everything, that facade is awesome looking.
Well, especially, we lived in Kansas for, like, a decade.
Yeah.
That house smelled like Kansas. They nailed it so well. So we got a picture in front of the facade. I could smell the corn. It just felt so much like Kansas.
Oh, and the rustling noise. So we get to the entrance. There's no one behind us. There's no one in front of us because it's the end of the night.
Which was freaking me out because you want to be...
Conga line.
Yeah, because then you don't get all of the scares. So I take, like, 2 steps into this house and the smell, like, really hits me.
And there's, like, this crazy growling and wind noise when you first walk up in there.
It was, for me... It was just peeking in there felt too much like walking through a portal and going back to Kansas. And I was like, I can't do this.
Alright, snuggle me now.
Yeah, okay, so the camera died.
So we get into the last room, and the entire night we're like, oh yeah, no, there's no actual corn maze in there. There's no corn maze. We didn't know. Nobody had really mentioned it online that there was. So when we get into the last room, it's a corn maze. It's just a big fake cornfield, but it was very realistic. Had mirrors and stuff on every side, so it looked like it was never ending. And there were scarecrows literally everywhere. I don't know if there was supposed to be that many normally, or if it was because it was the end of the night, so everybody was just going for it, but it was freaking insane. Like, that was probably the most scared I think that I've ever been, because they were just getting us left and right. And there were a couple of times where, like, stuff would come out of the side, like, the side and from their boo hole, and I'd be like, okay, that's done and over with. At one point, I look over my shoulder before we get into the last room, and there's literally a scarecrow standing in the hallway, like, directly behind me. And I'm like, I don't think he's supposed to be there. Can we go? Like, it was so funny.
So they chased you out.
Yeah, they basically chased us out. But after that, when we got out, she's just like, oh, well, we have enough time. You guys could go through Blumhouse. And everybody's just like, no.
Yeah, because you all had been talking about, like, maybe going through Blumhouse, and it was right there with, like, no wait.
Yeah.
They had no desire, so we only did 2 houses.
We did 2 houses. We did all of the rides except for
Rip Ride Rocket.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so much fun to, like, go with friends, and, like, Mitch and Jazz are awesome and hilarious. So we do have some other, like, Halloween Horror Nights footage and stuff, and we'll probably do, like, a Scare Zone ranking, since we didn't do enough houses to do a house ranking. If you want to see more Halloween Horror Nights stuff, I know it's a little late in the season, but we will have a couple more videos coming out. If you want to see those things, or just more of us in general, you should subscribe. And you should like this video, or, you know, don't like it because you didn't like the video. I'm not going to pressure you. Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.